Welcome back to Good Day Columbia. Well, looking over the president's shoulder, it's a job that I'm sure no one would want to be too eager to sign up for, but it's also an award-winning one-man play that's coming to USC. And joining me this morning, the sole actor of that play, Lawrence Hamilton, with this story. Good morning, and such a pleasure to have you on this morning.
Good to be here.
Now, you know, this story, I've just read a little brief history about it, especially coming up after the two conventions that we've just had, talking about the two political heavyweights going head to head now. But this is a story of someone from behind the scenes.
Exactly. Alonzo Fields, who served in the 4 U.S. presidents, starting with President Hoover and all the way through Eisenhower. And he just tells a story of what he watched, who was there, what happened all through the 21 years he worked in the White House.
Now, he was a butler.
He was a butler, but his desire was to be an opera singer.
Wow.
So during the Depression, there was, of course, not many jobs for an opera singer,
right,
especially African-American opera singers. So he was invited to work in the White House with Mrs. Hoover. And he was just planned to stay for 1 year, but it lasted 21 years.
Wow. Now, how do you get into character of someone who, I mean, this is dated back to like the 50s when, you know, you're talking about a man who, there are some places he couldn't even, you know, drink water from the same water fountain. How do you get into character in that, and it's 2012 now?
Well, the wonderful thing about Mr. Fields is that he lived the life full of grace. And even though the story is based on factual incidents,
right,
he watched, for example, when Marian Anderson came to sing at the White House, he states that it's one thing to be invited to sing at the White House, but it's another thing to be able to dine at the White House, because she wouldn't be sent a meal. But he doesn't say it in a way that he's mean and angry, but he says he wants the world to change. He sees the new nation for new people, for all people. And that was back when he was in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's with the both conventions today, I think we could all learn a lesson from Mr. Fields.
Certainly, and I think this would be a teachable moment for students, just having this at USC, this play.
Exactly, factual things. You heard about Mrs. Roosevelt, you read about Mrs. Hoover, and you learned all the wives, the children, and things, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. All of these things are there, and you can get a history lesson. And the wonderful thing is the director, wonderful director, Gilbert McCauley, has included actual footage, video footage, and sound bites that you will actually hear these things. So it's almost like you're being in the moment.
Right, like you're taken back in history. Well, folks, looking over the president's shoulder is happening at Drayton Hall the 12th through the 15th. There is the information right there on your screen. It's $12 for students and $18 for the general public. Certainly a lot of rich history here. And if this is a one-man show, you must be one heck of an actor. Just saying.
Thank you so much.
Well, kudos to you, and thank you so much for coming on this morning to talk about this with us.